Here's another 5 minute story from the perspective of a girl. I used to think that living in the middle of nowhere was peaceful, almost therapeutic. No noise, no crowds, just me and the land. I grew up on this farm, so I was used to the quiet. But that all changed the night I saw something I can never explain. It was a few months ago, late at night. I'd finished feeding the sheep and was locking up the barn when I noticed something strange in the distance near the tree line. There was a light, a pale bluish glow that flickered like it was struggling to stay on. It wasn't something I'd ever seen before, and it didn't look like a flashlight or the headlights of a car. No one should have been out there. Our farm is miles away from the nearest neighbor, and we don't get visitors at night. I stood there for a while, just watching. The light wasn't moving. It was just hovering, almost as if it was waiting for something. I grabbed my phone and took a few steps closer, trying to get a better look. But the moment I did, the light disappeared, just blinked out of existence. I thought maybe I was just tired, imagining things, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The next day, I mentioned it to my dad. He brushed it off, saying it was probably just some hunters or maybe kids playing around. But I knew better. It didn't feel right. I spent the next few nights looking out toward the trees, but nothing happened. No lights, no movement, just the usual dark, empty fields. Then, about a week later, it happened again. This time the light was closer, almost at the edge of our property. I grabbed my boots and jacket, determined to figure out what it was. As I got closer, the light grew brighter, more intense, but there was no source. It wasn't coming from anything I could see. No person, no vehicle, just the light. I called out, thinking maybe someone was playing a prank, but there was no response. The air felt thick, like the kind of humidity you get right before a storm. My heart was racing, and I was just about to turn back when I saw something move. At first, I thought it was an animal, a deer maybe. But then it stood up, whatever it was. It was tall, much taller than any person. It had these long, thin limbs, and moved in a way that didn't seem natural, like it was gliding rather than walking. I froze. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of what I was seeing, but nothing added up. The light, the figure, it didn't make sense. I wanted to run, but my legs felt like they were made of lead. And then, as quickly as it had appeared, the figure vanished and the light blinked out. I didn't tell anyone this time. Who would believe me? I barely believed it myself. But after that night, things started happening around the farm. Strange things. Our animals started acting weird, skittish, like they were constantly on edge. The sheep would gather in the farthest corner of their pen, refusing to go near the barn after dark. And I started hearing noises like soft whispers carried on the wind. One night I woke up to the sound of banging on my window. I live on the second floor, so there shouldn't have been anything there. I was too scared to look, but I could feel it. Something was out there, watching.